For nearly 2,000 years, Jesus of Nazareth has been one of the most influential figures in human history. Billions worship him. Entire civilizations were shaped around his story. And yet, historically speaking, his life was short, local, and outwardly unremarkable. So why did Rome execute him? Why was he remembered? And did he actually intend to create a new religion? In this video, we explore Jesus strictly from an academic, historical perspective, setting theology aside and focusing on what historians can reasonably say. Among modern historians, there is broad consensus that Jesus existed. He was a Jewish man from Nazareth, living in Roman-controlled Judea in the early 1st century CE. He functioned as an itinerant preacher, traveling from village to village, teaching, debating, and attracting followers. What matters historically is not miracles or divine claims, but that Jesus gathered attention, inspired loyalty, and was ultimately executed by Roman authority. Did Jesus intend to found a new religion? From an academic standpoint, the answer is no. Jesus lived and died as a Jew. He preached within Jewish tradition, quoted Hebrew scripture, and addressed internal Jewish debates. There is no historical evidence that he sought to establish a new religion called Christianity. Christianity emerged later, shaped by his followers, especially figures like Paul, and formalized over centuries through theology, councils, and institutions. Jesus preached renewal, not separation. Why did Jesus become so influential? Jesus became influential not primarily because of what he did during his life, but because of what happened after his death. His followers became convinced that he had risen from the dead. Historically, whether this belief was true is not the point. The point is that they truly believed it. Combined with a simple but radical ethical message, love, forgiveness, dignity for the poor. His movement spread quickly through the Roman world, aided by Roman roads, cities, and a shared language. Why was Jesus rejected by some Jewish authorities? It is inaccurate to say that the Jews rejected Jesus. Jewish society at the time was diverse and divided. Jesus conflicted with certain religious elites because he publicly criticized religious authority. He challenged strict legal interpretations. He associated with social outcasts. He used powerful messianic symbolism. Most critically, his movement risked drawing Roman retaliation, something Jewish leaders deeply feared. Why did Rome see Jesus as a threat? Rome did not execute Jesus for theology. Rome executed people for political instability. Crucifixion was a Roman punishment reserved for rebels and threats to public order. Jesus entered Jerusalem during Passover, a volatile holiday celebrating liberation from oppression. He was greeted by followers using language and symbols associated with kingship. Though peaceful, his actions carried political meaning. In a Roman province, symbolism alone could be dangerous. The inscription placed on his cross, "King of the Jews," was not mockery. It was the charge. Historically, Jesus entered Jerusalem days before his arrest. He was welcomed by supporters, not a massive army, but enough to draw attention. This moment transformed him from a regional teacher into a public figure operating at the center of power during a sensitive time. Soon after, he disrupted activity at the temple, a religious and economic hub. From Rome's perspective, the risk was clear. So why Jesus still matters? Jesus was not executed because he founded a new religion, nor because he led an armed rebellion. He was executed because he was charismatic, symbolic, unpredictable, and appeared at the worst possible moment. Ironically, Rome intended to erase him. Instead, his death became the foundation of one of the most influential movements in human history. From a historical perspective, Jesus matters not because of divine claims, but because of how power, memory, and belief transformed a provincial execution into a global legacy.